My question is to the Minister of Finance. What does he believe will be the main features of the economic recovery under the government's program to encourage more savings and investment?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, I think it's now obvious that the economic conditions in the years leading up to 2008 were not normal. They were not normal because we saw excessive consumption, housing speculation and borrowing to finance both. Looking ahead, New Zealand's economic growth will need to be considerably different than the growth that was occurring during those years. It will need to be based on savings and investment and led by the earnings side of our economy, especially the export sector, and that is why the government's economic policy program is designed to encourage savings, investment, exports and new jobs.
Aaron Gilmore.
Supplementary question to the Minister. What were the features of the economy's performance before the 2008 recession?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, in retrospect it was an unusual period.
Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Pretty simple one, sir. That is the features of something which occurred before the Minister was responsible. He wasn't asked about any reports he had. He's been asked about something that he has no responsibility for.
With respect, the Minister for Finance does have a reporting responsibility on what the features were. He shouldn't pass too much comment on them, but what the features were, he definitely has a reporting responsibility. The Honourable Bill English. Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
If in fact he'd been asked that, I wouldn't have taken the point of order. He wasn't.
I believe the Minister was asked what were the features of it. He has a reporting responsibility on the economy prior to his time as Minister of Finance, but he shouldn't be passing too much judgment on the policies of the time. But he certainly has a reporting responsibility on the features of the economy. The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, I didn't plan to pass any judgment on it. It's clear, in retrospect, the 5 years to March 2008 were an unusual period. Growth in private consumption was about 4.5% a year, almost twice its long-run average. House prices doubled, and credit, that is mortgages, credit cards and other forms of credit, grew by 83% in the 5 years to 2008. By the end of this period, households were borrowing $10 billion a year to finance consumption, and we had record balance of payments deficits.
Aaron Gilmore.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Supplementary question. What trends have been evident in the New Zealand economy since 2008?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, since 2008, fortunately, these trends have reversed. Households have become strongly averse to debt. They've lifted their savings and are trying to restore their balance sheets. The housing market and credit demand have stalled. In fact, credit growth is close to zero. Banks realised they were overextended with too much foreign borrowing, and the balance of payments has dramatically improved. The policy challenge now is to lock in the long-term benefits of this sharp correction.
The Honourable David Cunliffe.
Mr Speaker, to the Minister, if households have lifted their savings, why is the New Zealand Institute of Economic Research forecasting national savings to collapse to minus 1.2% in 2015 compared to positive 5.2% in 2004? The
Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, I have no idea why NZIER are forecasting that. The forecasting is, I think, a bit of a mystery even to the forecasters who are doing it. What's pretty clear is that New Zealanders are saving more now and not spending. That is one of the reasons that the economic recovery is a bit flatter, but it is a good thing. New Zealand needs more savings.
Te rough level.
To the Minister, has the Minister seen mention in the report from the Welfare Working Group of a recent review of social services in Masterton, which found that many Pākehā preferred Māori provided services because they offered a more family-based approach? And will he be responding to this finding by seeking to encourage more investment and subsequent long-term savings in the whānau ora approach?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, we're a government who prefer people, including those who use social services, to be able to exercise some kind of choice. And I'm interested to hear that in Masterton, a number of Pākehā families prefer Maori providers because they do a better job. It may well be there's many Maori families who prefer non-Maori providers because they believe the same thing. Either way, we want to foster that kind of choice, and of course the development of is going to mean there is considerably more choice for families in need of social support, and that's a good thing.
The Honourable David Cunliffe.
Mr Speaker, to the Minister, can he confirm that Standard & Poor's projects the current account deficit will grow to an average 5.9% over the next 3 years, that Treasury forecasts it to rise to 7.3% in 2014? And does he share Standard & Poor's disappointment that his policies have failed to make any structural difference to this situation?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, no, I don't share those points of view. There has been a considerable change since the record current account deficits that the previous government left behind, and that change is driven largely by changes in the behaviour of New Zealand households who are saving more and spending less. The government's tax package is designed to push in the same direction and lock in long-term the benefits of these changes in behaviour, and that policy has been effectively endorsed by voters in the recent Mana by-election.
Aaron Gilmore.
Mr Speaker, supplementary question.
I've called Aaron Gilmore. Order.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. What economic trends can we reasonably expect in New Zealand in the years ahead?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, we can expect the economy will grow right round about 2.5% to 3% a year over the next 2 or 3 years. I believe we will see more saving. I think we will see much less growth in credit, and we will certainly see much better run government and much better run public services. Government simply can't afford to grow at the rapid rate that it did, and the new jobs are more likely to be in the export-orientated part of our economy rather than in jobs and other non-tradable sectors such as domestic construction.
The Honourable David Cunliffe.
Speaker, to the Minister, with high unemployment staying above 6%, with tax revenue down $1.1 billion and business tax collapsing 22%, with real wages falling and the gap with Australia widening, and with Standard & Poor's now giving him a clear fail in the latest report, will he now admit that the so-called recovery is not happening, that his policies are not working, and will he hand over his portfolio to Stephen Joyce like everybody expects?
If the Minister can discern a question in that, he's welcome to answer it. The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, no, the member is wrong. And if anyone believed him, Labour would have had a substantial majority in the Mana by-election. Instead, it almost lost it.
Question number 2, Matiria Tude.
Thank you, Mr Speaker.